The new show, What's Your Next Move? We're talking about Central Florida real estate as well as the infrastructure, people coming from other states and cluttering up. No, that's not true. Just kidding. Well, maybe just a little bit. And how about the international crowd? Let's not even talk about that, shall we? All right, so we're getting ready to put the show on here. Let me just put the key people involved. We got this guy. Okay, so let's put Neil and then Tanya and Kevin, and let's put the news radio. Ready? Come on. There it is. All right, so we're all set there for the radio. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. We're doing a second show. Here we go. Track number 1. Hi, everybody, and welcome to What's Your Next Move? I am Melissa Fox, and in the studio, I've got real estate agents extraordinaire. We got a title guy. We got a great show planned for you. Tanya Rivers, Neil Lavelle, and Kevin.
No last name necessary.
No, we don't need it. We don't need. Yeah, that's why. All right, let's get back into the show here instead of all the giggles. Let's talk real estate, kids.
All right. Well, we are super excited to have our guest here today. We just want to jump right in. Neil, people are asking, is it still a good time to buy and sell in Central Florida? What you got?
Listen, this is the time is always now. Real estate is America's best investment. And the hard reality to it is this. If you qualify for a home and you can afford to buy a home, why would you want to go and throw away your money and flush it down the toilet and pay rent? I mean, It just makes no sense, right? But we have several different lenders that are out there that will take, basic credit. You do have to be at 600s. You could even be as low as 580 with a little bit of money down.
Right.
There are some FHA programs out there that's really sophisticated. But there's so many different programs that are out there that will help first-time home buyers, second-time home buyers, people that really are restarting, had an issue. Now they're coming with some money down. So the programs that are out there today, Tanya, are really phenomenal. So, no, this is a great time to buy and a great time to sell.
Well, rent rates are still high. I mean, and rent is still high. It's not going down.
No,
so
it's
it really makes it difficult to save, right? So when you're in a renting situation, but some people do like to rent and they're just kind of waiting. They're just, are the interest rates going to go down? Are they going to stay up? I mean, they're 5.5, then 6, 6.5, then 7, and back down. And I mean, even FHA, you're looking at, 6%, did closing. And, it's like, come on, the rates are what they are right now, but they're still good, but not compared to where they were 2 years ago. So I think everyone's waiting for that, Neil. I think they're waiting for those
and
numbers.
Again, this is part of the reality check that we have to come to. And I guess that's why we're here, is to really bring what's real. What's your next move is about what's real. How do we help you to understand what the real value is in the market and what your real value is how you can sell and how you can buy and or invest at this time, because it's a lot of great investment opportunities that are coming. And look, let's face it, we live in Central Florida. So if you really want a second home, you really want an investment, our homes, and because of our location, they say real estate is about location. Well, we're at 30 minutes, you're a Disney.
Everywhere. It's one big circle, and it's like,
and
people, and they don't even understand that. But like colleges, we have a lot of universities and colleges here. It doesn't make sense for our college kids to go back home and stay in the basement, in some areas up north. I mean, or to rent rooms at home when there's programs for college students
to buy a home.
Right out of college.
They come out with a degree. They come out with a degree, and they have a real job. And
Correct.
You have 30 days. I think it's 60 days now of paychecks,
right,
or pay stubs. You now qualify for an
Correct.
FHA mortgage,
which is incredible.
So why don't people take advantage of that?
Right.
Because they don't know.
Right. No, those programs do exist. I mean, FHA, we're talking about those and the VA loans and different types of options that are out there, right? So you have loan assumptions, Neil. A lot of people right now, they're looking at the interest rates, but don't look at the interest rates and say, oh, they're 6 or 7%. There's ways to look and see if a mortgage is actually assumable. And you're finding that there are FHA loans or VA loans that are assumable. Now, of course, there's details behind it, right? With the VA loans and the assumable loans, you have to kind of look at eligibility, right? Because if you want to use your entitlement again later down the road, it's still attached to the loan for 20 years or whatever's left on it, right? 27 years with the VA loan if you're going to assume that. But the FHA does have assumable loans, and some of those that we're finding right now are 3.5%. We have some that are 2.5%. So you got to still find good buys out there. Still homes around $400,000, nice 5-bedroom, 5 bedrooms or 4-bedroom homes in the 400s, in the low mid 400s with assumable loans. So that's something too.
It exists. There are a lot of people that are out there that they because of the market being in these different spaces, they really didn't understand what an assumable mortgage really is.
Right, exactly.
And they don't really know how it works. So you really can assume somebody's debt if you qualify for the debt.
And the mortgage, lenders, they're the ones that are going to, approve that or not. But that is something to talk to your realtor about because it does exist. So don't let the interest rates right now, again, they're higher than what they were 18 months ago, but they're not where they were 10 years ago.
That's true too.
They're still good.
And the real benefit to an assumable mortgage is, guess what? You're taking over where they left off.
Right.
So if that person was in the home for 5 years, now you're really assuming a 25-year loan.
Right.
And if they were in there for 10 years, now you're only assuming a 20-year loan.
And some lenders let you can pay cash for the difference, or
That's
you
it.
can, not refinance, but take out a loan for the new rate. So you're not paying the whole entire thing at that rate. So there are options, but you got to work with mortgage shop. Just, if you're going to go buy a car, you're going to look at different mortgage options. So why not, car loans. Why wouldn't you do the same thing with a mortgage loan?
Well, look, because people just don't know.
But they should.
And they really just, that's true, but they don't take the necessary time to really, let me see what I qualify for.
Right.
Or let me really speak with a lender and see what they're going to offer me. There are loans for self-employed people. There are loans for bank statement loans. There for those who are foreign nationals.
Absolutely.
They're no-doc loans again. Let me tell you something, too, that blew my mind the other day. There's 100% financing back.
Yes.
You got 680 credit, you can get 100% loan.
Right.
I was just like, are you serious? But you got to qualify.
Right.
But people just really don't know.
But you have to ask those questions because if you don't ask, you won't know. Like you say, people are still using seller financing. There's a lot of properties that are completely paid off, and they're willing to do seller financing. That was something that's big. You have that that's out there as well. So I think we need to look at that. But I think a misconception though, Neil, is when people get out there in our favorite search engine, right? They get out there and they say, "This is what I can qualify for," and they do the little calculator out there, and it tells them what they think they can have. And that is not truly
what you qualify.
What you actually qualify. So I think it's a difference between a loan approval and a loan pre-qualification.
And people just don't know the difference.
And they don't know the difference.
But you got to, though, this is why they call me and you. If you want to call, get the real experts and the real pros, call Neil and Tanya. You can call me at 407-466-1529. It's Neil Lavelle. Or you can call Tanya
at 407-837-1247. And we're going to talk to you about options. There's hard money loan options. There's preferred, private lenders out there, private lending options. Guys, don't be afraid. And don't get stuck on the major. Everyone just thinks VA, FHA, conventional. I have to have 20% down. And with a conventional loan, you don't have to put 20% down.
That's true.
That's also a misconception. You think you have to save and save and save and save and save, all this money.
There's 3% down conventional.
Absolutely. You just have to know how to qualify for it. And if you can't, we can get you ready.
And you know what? Another great program out there, it's a quiet one, but it's a 203K. So you have a 203K, and I think it's a 203B when it's construction. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that, guys. I'm not a lender.
Right.
I'm a realtor. But there's a program for those that want to go in. They can buy a home that needs some repairs and get the loan right up front to do the repairs.
Right.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to go into a home and then fix it to the way you like?
Right.
I don't get it.
No, it makes completely, makes good
I guess
sense.
what it really is, people just don't take the time to really do the research. But now we're coming to you. We're going to give you the research with our years of experience. So all you have to do is reach out and call us. And 407-466-1529, Neil Lavelle.
Right.
And Tanya.
407-837-1247.
And we're going to help you.
And we're going to help you. And Neil, the other thing that people need to realize is if you're struggling with your personal credit, right? Like we know, obviously, if your credit is not where it's going to be, what's going to happen, Kevin? You're going to pay more, right? So if you have that 580 or that 620, that's a minimum requirement. There's other things there. But when you get to like 700, the lenders will offer lender credits. They're still doing lender credits. There's still options.
There's huge.
Lender credits are
Especially for new
still
construction right
absolutely.
now,
So you're getting lender credits out there. You're still getting seller credits.
Listen,
Come on.
The sellers' concession days are back.
They're back. They're there.
Yeah, they really are. People just don't ask.
Right.
And that's because partially, too, and I don't really like to say this, but there's a lot of realtors that are out there that, these hurry come up, the new guys that's out there, they really don't know, like, all of the options.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate because these options really do exist. That you just need somebody that can really know how to negotiate it for you. That's
Right.
really what it comes down to.
Absolutely. Having a strategy. We always
The
talk about that.
strategy
Absolutely.
And knowing your next move. Well, you're here with
Right.
Neil and Tanya. What's your next move?
You're listening to What's Your Next Move? Just like Neil and Tanya said. We'll be right back. It's News Radio WFLA Orlando.
So where do we bring Kev in on this one? What's the next topic?
Oh, let's see.
Well, you guys want to continue to go back
Hold
through programs? Kevin, do you have any other programs?
Programs as far as
Credits, title credits, or anything like that?
Well, I
Not
wanted him
really.
to. I wanted him to talk about those sellers because when sellers they don't realize they can actually get a refund and apply it back. Not a refund, but
That's if they
the
refi,
right.
right?
If they sell their home,
Oh.
if they have title insurance,
okay, not on the sale, but on the
refinance, they can
Yeah.
get credit back. And I
Right,
think
if they
that's
hold on to their title insurance
Exactly.
policy. Yeah.
and I think that's something that people don't know about or that they forget to ask.
Yeah.
Now, a good title company is going to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to ask for your owner's title policy.
Yeah.
Lender credits is still good. Title credits are still good.
All right, Kevin. What else? Previous,
And then Kevin.
his previous title. Hold on.
So, yeah.
We were talking about the escrow.
Oh,
we were supposed
escrows,
to talk about
that's
escrow
right.
and what the average escrow is and what
Right.
happens with the escrow.
Well, I don't want to
People-
talk about what the average escrow
Well,
is. But
I'll say it.
I
Yeah.
can too.
We're okay.
What the heck?
See if you can figure that out. There's two apps there.
We're not on Facebook, right? We're not on Facebook, right? Oh, yes, we are. Oh, whoops. Oh.
See if that'll work. If you can, you need a pen. She stole my pen. See if you can make that work. If not, or change a few things.
so just read.
Does that help? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to fill in the blanks. Name of the title company or whatever.
Choose blank title for your commercial real estate.
Yeah, those are good. Call us at blankety blank.
Call us at the phone number website. Thank you.
All right, those are two versions of that, and then we can do it after. We're on the third segment now, so you might hang out after. By the way, that's Chat GPT. Throw in enough information. Cool with that?
Yeah. No. So why would I?
Shoot, I don't have a pen. Let me borrow your pen.
Sure.
It's just like.
Yep, that's how I do.
How we do it.
That's how we get her done. Yeah, so if you can just punch that up a little bit, I think we'll be really good to go. Kevin.
Yeah.
Neil. All right, if we're ready, let's do segment.
Escrows.
Yeah, I almost messed up. Segment number 2 of the second show. Is that right? That's right. Okay, let's do it. Stand by. Neil.
I love you too, Melissa.
Yeah, I hear you. All right. Here we go. How you doing today?
Great.
Thinking about moving, maybe? Thinking about what can I do with my house? Can I flip it? It needs work. Well, that's where we come in. This is called What's Your Next Move? And every Tuesday night from 6 to 7, we do this for you. Let's send it to the studios now. Neil Lavelle, Tanya Rivers, and Kevin.
The
No
famous
last
Kevin.
name. That's
No.
right.
That's all I need.
Well, Kevin, let's start this segment off talking about something that a lot of people may not know, because here we want to keep it honest 100% and maybe give them the real, right? We're talking about money. We're talking about stretching money.
Yep.
Let's talk about escrow. Let's
Yes.
talk about what happens with escrow, and let's talk about previous title policies and what that means for a seller, maybe during a refi or something like that. Let's talk to him, Kevin.
Okay, so Perfect Title and Escrow, my company, and many title companies and escrow companies have what's called a separate escrow account, kind of like an attorney's trust account. So that account is separate from everything else. So when you give money to a title company, it goes into an escrow account where it's not touched by anybody. It's not like, sometimes you give money to a builder for a deposit and then they use that money on the next job. And your escrow money is held in an escrow account, which is reconciled monthly.
So a first-time home buyer is going to say their money's safe.
Their money is safe.
All right. Okay.
And the title company truly is, no matter who hires them, the buyer or the seller, truly is a neutral third party in every transaction. So if there's ever a dispute over escrow money, it's not the title company's position to decide who gets that money. So if you deposit as a buyer, put a large deposit down in an escrow account, first of all, it's protected.
Mm-hmm.
It's insured. It's not being touched or used by anybody else. And if the seller makes a claim on that escrow deposit for whatever reason, the title company can't just unilaterally say, "Oh, well, the seller's my client, so I'm going to give them the escrow deposit," and tell the buyer, "Sorry, So there's legal steps that have to be taken before an escrow can be released.
Okay.
So those are all the reasons to give money and put down an escrow, because it's safe, it's protected, it's insured, and it's held by a neutral third party.
So when you put the big deposit down, right? So when you're putting an offer in on a home, if you're a first-time home buyer, they're going to say you have to put money in escrow. And a lot of times, your realtor may advise you, if it's a multiple offer situation, which we're going to talk about in a little bit later, they say you might want to put a little bit more down because it shows more of good faith. Least likely to back out of the deal, or you're putting your money where your mouth is. You really want the property, so you're going to put more money up. And so sometimes it might be, $2,500 in Florida, and sometimes it can go all the way up to $15,000, $20,000, depending on, what type of property that you're purchasing. So that money would go into escrow. So a lot of people are saying, well, when do I get it back? Like if the deal falls through or something happens legally,
Well,
like
see, that's a real.
that's a catch.
It's a catch-22, because you really you sign a legal binding contract,
Mm-hmm.
and within that contract, you really have to adhere to those terms in the contract. So again, you guys really have to be careful in who is, because I'm going to tell you something too. With these contracts and escrows, there's a lot of deals that they're flips. Everybody wants to do a flip. Kev, do you guys do flips at your title company?
Yeah, we have in the past. We've
Okay.
done flips.
But there's a real process here, right? So if you check off one box, that assignment box on the contract, now that property can be flipped. Here in Florida, the way the contract is written with an assignment clause, you can now flip that contract.
Right.
So that's a whole part that we really need to have a show on, Tanya.
For people to understand that, yeah.
How to flip a real property,
Yep.
because we get a lot of good deals in short sales and
Right.
opportunities, and we're going to be bringing some private finance guys on here as well, so that we'll be able to help you if you do want to invest, or
Right.
you want to flip a property
Right.
or build a property, because it exists out there today.
Right. And you have to be careful, right? How much money you actually put in escrow, how much money you're really willing to risk. And you got to make sure that all your dots are, your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed to make sure you don't lose that money. Even though it's safe with you, we can still lose the money if we don't follow through and do everything that we're supposed to do. So talk about that.
Yeah,
Kevin.
well, yeah. If you don't perform on the contract,
Right.
you're in breach of contract. You're at risk of losing your deposit. People
Right.
don't realize that. Yeah, like Neil said, that real estate contract is a contract.
It is.
People think they want to buy the house, so they just sign it without reading it.
Right.
And if you have a realtor that's not very experienced, they don't know how to look for certain red flags in that contract. That's a binding contract.
Right.
If you decide, oh, I found a better house, I don't want this one anymore. Well, you can't just.
Right.
You
I
just
don't
can't
like
back
that.
out.
I don't
You
like
can't
this
just
house
walk away.
anymore.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if you had a situation where you needed your fund back, who determines, like you said, who would be the one to say how quickly would I get my money back? I need my escrow. I need my deposit back, because now that deal fell through. I was not breach of contract. It just fell through. Both sides mutually agreed. We ended the contract. but I need to put a deposit on another property. What realistically, how fast could you get the money back? Do you give the money back? How do I get my wired money back?
I can't give the money back until I get a release and cancellation of contract. So both buyer and seller have to sign a form.
They agreed.
That says $5,000 goes back to John Smith, and they're both signed. Once I get that release of contract, the escrow goes back immediately.
Oh,
There's no delay in me cutting a check or wiring
That's a
funds
good thing,
back.
Well, no,
For people who are first-time home buyers?
But the key is you're not getting out that easily.
Right.
And, I have a deal that's still, they're fighting over the escrow, and it fell apart.
Right.
Hey, were you in breach? Was I in breach? And if you were in breach, but before Kevin can release it,
Right.
he still needs a signature.
Right.
On both sides.
Absolutely.
So that's a major, escrows are really a very important part of it. And, as a buyer out there, because this is a great time to buy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's a great time to sell. So if you're out there and you just really want to see what your home is worth or find, because we have buyers that are coming at us left and right. Why? Because we always have great opportunities.
Right.
So if you're looking to sell or to rent, Tanya, too, because I've got some great,
With some rent projects, too.
Yeah,
Ooh, I need to talk to you.
Yeah, definitely. We
so
definitely
if you
do.
really want to, but I really just do rentals to investors. But I also do have some homes. If you're a seller and in trouble too, and you want to just rent your home, I'm your guy.
Right. We have a lot of options. So when we're looking at selling or buying, there's always refinancing. So let's talk about refinancing and the previous title policy.
Right. So again, when you purchase your home, you are issued an owner's title policy. It's a one-time purchase that again protects you from any previous incidents that may have happened with the house. Take that owner's policy and keep it somewhere safe where you know where it is. A lot of people either don't even bother to get it or don't realize what it is and toss it or have it in a box full of papers in the attic and don't realize. What that does is if you ever refinance your house, we talked about that title insurance rates are promulgated. The state sets the rates and that when you have a prior policy, that gives you a discount on the rate.
Right.
So if the rate was $1,500 and you have your prior policy that you give to the title company, that may drop the rate
And a
down
credit.
to it gives you a credit.
Right.
Down to maybe $900. So you saved yourself $600.
But not everybody does that because
No.
you have to be an experienced professional to actually ask that. Because if you do not know and you're a new agent or maybe you're dealing with a new title company that you've never dealt with before, I've had experiences where I've had to be the one to say, hey, they had a previous policy.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, let me look it up, or do they have a copy, or whatever the case may
Right.
be. But you're saying at Perfect Title, that's something that you guys proactively do on everything to give the white glove service. That's what I'm hearing you say. You care about every piece of money that comes through to take care of that seller.
Correct.
All right.
We're going to give every credit and every benefit possible to the person who's refinancing their
Right.
home
And that's
or
important
purchasing.
because refinancing right now, I mean, the rates are still high. And if you can get any credits back at all,
So if
Yeah,
you're
but a lot of people don't even
money's
tell
good.
you that, though.
right, well, if you're listening and you're currently in the process of refinancing your house, make sure you contact the title company that's doing it and say, I want to get it's called a reissue credit.
there it is.
Or, Kev,
Reissue
why don't
credit.
they call you?
Well,
If they're
I
in the
would
middle
love
of
them
it.
to.
Oh,
but if
they're in the
I
middle-
get it, I
If they're
get
in the
it.
middle of it or getting close to a
Right,
final,
right.
He's
I
not the
get
greedy
it.
dude.
No,
He's not,
no, no, no,
he's
I
not
get
going to
it,
tell
I
you to
get it.
drop your title company.
But tell them, how do they reach you, Kev?
best way to reach me is by email, kevin@perfecttitle.com, or you can call me at 888-SHORT for short sales, short 50, SHORT.
And Tanya, how do they get a hold of you?
I'm 407-837-1247.
And I am Neil Lavelle, and I can be reached at NEALLOVELL.com, neillavelle.com, or you can reach me at 407-466-1529. So if you have an opportunity and you really want to make it happen, you're going to give us a call. If you want to sell quickly or you want to not refi, but if you want to move quickly, buy quickly, you're going to reach out to me and Tanya because we're going to help you. And when we come back, Tanya, we got to talk about the triple D's.
Okay.
I mean, death, debt, and divorce. That
A
is.
distraction.
See, there's Melissa, but
Dessert and
it's not that triple
and
D's. It's
destruction.
death, debt, and
I
divorce.
don't know about all that. I don't know about all that.
Wow. All right, we'll be right back. We do this every Tuesday night, 6 to 7. We call it What's Your Next Move? What is your next move? Maybe we'll find out next. All right, don't give me
Melissa-
hell for Clinton because I've been loving P-Funk since I was in the since
I
the
like
70s.
that works.
I like it.
It's
all
all
right.
right. It's all right.
I like it, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Hold on. I got
Gets us
your-
excited.
There we go. Sorry, sometimes I have to edit things. Yeah. All right, segment number 3 is coming up.
All right, my friend.
Yeah. What's his fart? Mark have to say anything good?
Oh yeah, he was glad we were here. He said he was excited.
He is excited.
Mm-hmm.
He is
He said he was
excited.
gonna listen to the show.
We're excited.
We got one fan. We got one only fan. One fan.
Oh!
Hey, we got a fan.
All right, we're
We're gonna have a
going.
whole lot of fans soon.
You're doing just fine. Hey, does RP or any of them know you're doing this? Good. All righty then.
Oh,
All
man.
right, let's start this thing off. Place the button right there. Push that button there. All right, and here we go. Ooh, love this
right.
fancy music.
Flappers.
This is
1920.
almost like put your stuff in a box and move to a new house kind of music, right?
Yeah,
Get her
there you go.
done. All right, welcome back. This is What's Your Next Move? I am Melissa Fox guiding this experience. Sloppily, but I'm trying. Anyway, we got Tanya Rivers, we got Neil Lavelle, we got Kevin from the Title and some escrow company. I don't know what it was. I forgot. Title and
It's
escrow?
good enough, yeah.
It was close?
Yeah.
Perfect.
We'll let that one slide.
We'll let it slide. Okay. Yeah, we let a lot slide when the fox is pushing
That's
buttons.
right.
Yeah.
That's
All
right.
right, so let's get back to the real estate here. I mean, how's the market looking for real? Do we have enough inventory out there? Can I buy something?
You absolutely can. There is inventory, Melissa. You know, we were seeing at one point where homes were staying on the market for a longer time in the areas, but what we're starting to see now is there's still multiple offer situations across Central Florida. I just did a couple of deals here recently. We're under contract, and guess what? There were multiple offers, highest and best. Highest and
it's
best. So it's not just on a $300 or your $50 or $400,000 price point. You're still talking $600,000 and $700,000 price points where there's multiple offers out of the blue, just starting to happen. Where a home is on the market for 90 days, 89 days, and all of a sudden 3 or 4 offers came in. And also too, you're starting to see more open houses. More open houses, Melissa. We're starting to do more. That means they're trying to move those properties, and there's buyers. Buyers are still
listen,
showing up.
Yeah, but you know what? The most important thing is, and I always say this, in Central Florida, we're about opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we are the land of opportunity here, and it's a melting pot. We have, and a lot of that is because so many people travel to come to Disney, and then they go outside of Disney and they see how our lifestyle is, and people just attract to that. So we're really in a unique poised position when
Right.
it comes to real estate to really offer a lot of opportunities for investors. That's why we have so much influx of people from the Northeast, people
Right.
from the West Coast. And when they do come, they're like, I'm paying cash. I
Right.
really don't care.
I mean, the inventory's there. The inventory's
inventory-
there.
but we do have
But they're
inventory,
also, too, you're starting
but
to
it's
see.
going quicker now. all
It
of
is
a
going
sudden.
faster, and I think people are being a little bit more picky as far as their money, right? So their money is stretching, but they're like, okay, am I going to hold out for that 4.3 I really want, or that 5.3 that I really want, or am I going to get, let's move into a 3.2, right, because of the price point. So, I mean, they're really being picky, but they have options. The sellers are holding out a little bit to get the money that they want and need. You have buyers that are holding out, and then some people just come into the area, like Neil said, they're coming in, they're saying, hey, this is what I want. They're putting their offers in, they're paying cash, and they're saying, let's go.
And that's why I'm saying for us local Floridians in Central Florida locals, this is the time where you guys are competing against that.
Right.
So you got to be aware that, listen, if you want that property, don't go in there thinking that you can offer them something
Lowball.
ridiculous.
Lowball. It's not working anymore.
That's out.
Right.
It
Well,
doesn't
guess who
work.
tries that? Things that start with offer, and sometimes they end with mad. But different options like that are happening out there. And come on, you're lowballing folks and still charging fees. People are not going for that anymore.
No, they're not doing that.
Hey, let's take a sidebar second and explain to some of our listeners why they should call either Neil or Tanya or both instead of just using some Joe Blow who's running an advertisement that says they got 650 or 6,000 buyers at the ready, which is totally BS.
That-
There's
and-
no way.
We get that all day long, even on our cell phones, our business phones. We have 1,800 buyers in your area.
No way.
Contact us for immediate referrals. And you're like, I'm like, I'm a realtor.
aren't-
why are you texting me?
Right. Well, first and foremost, don't you have to have those people under contract? I mean, that seems ridiculous, honestly.
It's
6,500. Maybe you have a couple under contract that are ready to buy and that are eager, but
Right.
Yeah.
you got to remember a lot of real estate agents out there are undertrained.
Right.
So let's talk about you two.
Yeah.
Well, no, listen, Melissa, I've been in the business for 28 years. And, like I said to you guys, I have got a great story to tell. I'll tell you guys one day. But
Are you sure I heard?
We're not
Yeah.
doing death, debt, and divorce on the first night.
No. Listen, but
Let's do dinner, drinks, and dessert.
That's better. Way better.
now dinner and drinks. But hey, but there are some real life experiences
Right.
that people go through where there is, death in the family, or you're really transitioning, going through a divorce, and you need a real estate
Right.
expert, or you're going through, debt or bankruptcy, or you got to restructure your finances or your financial package, and you really need some help. Then that's my model. That's my go-to,
Right.
and it is death. It is a triple D's, but it's death,
It's a good
debt, and
triple Ds.
divorce.
Right.
So and I'm really here to add value to your lives and really give you my 28 years of experience in
Right.
doing that, and getting you over that bridge, because that's my model, Tanya.
Right.
You
And getting
know.
over the bridge, though, too, requires, again, remember, we're talking about a plan. You're entering in
That's
that
right.
season where you have facing bankruptcy or facing, debt issues and things like that, or a death of a loved one, and you're not sure what to do with the property.
Yep.
Then you have to look at the aftermath. What's happening? So if you want to rent because you don't really want the commitment or you're not real sure, there are rent-to-own programs out there that we both are
Yep.
affiliated with that can actually help you with the down payment. You get into the home, you're making money, and they're taking a portion of that, going toward, the deposit, down payment on the home. So you can still, buy the home, but you're not renting at an apartment complex where you're not getting an immediate return. There's also programs that apartment complex have, the rent back programs, where the apartment complexes, once you're like 9 months into your lease, they offer a program where they help you with your purchase
Yeah,
by
that's
taking
real.
those last two payments and applying them to the opportunity for you to purchase a home. So even rental complexes are starting to get behind home ownership, right? They're starting to, you're going to live out, the majority of your lease agreement,
yeah,
though,
because you
9
know what?
months of it. But come on, the last 3, they don't want you breaking your lease because you bought a home and you're like, I don't care anymore about this apartment complex or my credit because now I've qualified for my home, I'm moving in, and they're saying forget those 2 months. So it's actually a smart strategy for the rental apartment complexes to say, you know what, we know you're buying a home, you've already given your 60-day notice, whatever, but they want to guarantee that they get the last couple of months of your payment, so they're helping you with these rent programs, which I think is fantastic.
I agree
in
with
the area.
you. I agree with you.
If you're
but
gonna
here-
rent.
Yeah, but here's what I think. I think those rental companies, they're just looking to get you out.
Without
So-
losing money.
No, so they can re-rent that same unit
They
for
will.
much more money.
They will do that,
Because
but
the demand is high right now.
the demand is high. But rather than get stiffed for $5,000 or stiffed
Oh,
for
well, I get it.
$6,000
No,
to
that's
offer
true.
a program, what's that going to do, Neil? With a real good rent back program, it's going to attract new leasees. They're
I
going to come
agree.
there and say, "Hey, I want to work with this apartment complex
Yeah.
because when I'm ready to buy, they're going to help apply those payments toward." My new
next-
home.
that's right, my next move.
Exactly. And a lot of credit people don't know, because that's my thing here, helping financial planning and credit and really getting you toward home ownership. Think about this, Neil. A lot of those apartment complex now, they will report your rent on your credit report.
That's true.
And that helps you establish credit.
Credit trade lines.
And these banks are now, these mortgage companies, some of them are treating them as mortgage payments.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, you're on time. You're 12 months on time. Because remember, Kev, you know that if you have, with certain types of loans, if you have missed payments, you don't qualify. If you have late payments, and
Or
they
especially
will,
within
they
12
will,
months.
yeah, if you have it within 12 months, you're starting all over again, or you're trying to fight that payment, trying to prove it wasn't late. And I'm not talking about being, 50 days late. I mean, you could be 1 day late. It was going to report on your credit as 31 days, and your home ownership is
And for
at
those,
risk.
for those rental companies that don't report
Mm-hmm.
to credit bureaus, always keep your canceled checks
Absolutely.
and bank statements. Save
Yep.
everything, because you're going to need to show 12 canceled checks
Exactly.
or bank
Or online
statements
payments,
or
yeah.
online payments
Right.
that you've paid on time,
Mhm.
because most lenders will accept that.
Right.
Yeah, they do.
Absolutely. So those are some great ways, if you're going to rent. So there's programs out there, rent-to-own programs, home ownership out there. And another thing that people don't think about when Melissa's asking about buying, you can buy property in your business name. So if your credit is challenged, you can also qualify in your business name to buy.
How does that work, though?
And that's
Does
amazing. It's some steps to it, but if you
Okay.
have an established business and you have your DUNS number and you have reports and you have money and statements in your business and you have some trade lines on there, which I can help you with, you can buy a property in your business name, have that business generate money for you, and then you have different write-offs and different, things related to capital gains and all that good stuff. So definitely you want to reach out to me if you're in a situation where you're working on your personal credit, but you want to buy another property or your first time trying to get a property, a commercial property, or something where you can have some extra income coming in investment, you want to reach out to me, Tanya Rivers, 407-837-1247, and let's make it happen.
And it's Neil Lavelle, 407-466-1529.
And Kevin Doran with Perfect Title and Escrow. Kevin at perfecttitle.com, 888-SHORT50.
And you can always, what? Don't forget what?
I was just saying, just don't forget to call Neil and Tanya. And what's your next move?
Oh, yeah, we'll be right back. What's your
Maybe.
next move?
Maybe we'll be back.
I'm calling the buttons here. I'm just going to say. Now, we'll be right back. It is What's Your Next Move on News Radio WFLA, Orlando.
You're the best, Melissa.
She really is. She's the $1 million fox.
What?
The
Ugh.
$1 million fox.
We're
too.
still paying $2,000 for a fucking rental.
Yeah, you're not doing that. You're about to change the game, Melissa. Change the game.
I'm trying. I'm a try.
Is this our last segment?
Yes.
Yeah, it is of the second show.
Wow.
Yeah. Wait, I gotta do some.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Dude, it does. What? Ugh.
Yes.
Yeah, I still have more meetings to do. I mean, do some math real quick here, okay, so that I don't run us over. Let's see, 5. Oh, that's good. No,
That went quick.
9, 5.
And that's 2 shows.
4. Yep. It's because I make you so comfortable. True story. 10, 7.
Oh, give me another hot, crazy
We're
one.
about to talk about land and hotels and the prison project.
Oh, okay, the prison project is good.
Yeah,
The
it's-
rentals.
That is a good one. All right, let me make one more cut here. Beep.
Do
8,
you want to talk about that?
20.
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay. All set. Final segment.
Land
Mhm.
development, too.
Goes
Mhm.
fast.
Lot loans.
All right.
Yeah,
Do you guys
lot.
have any things that you want to sell? I mean, or put together buyers? Any of that crap too?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to do for the rentals. Just putting that together.
All right. Stand by. Welcome back. Yeah, it's where what? It's what? It's where you're next. Where are you moving? Huh? What are we doing? Yeah, hold on a second. We can do this again. Welcome back to What's Your Next Move? I am Melissa Fox. I'm the host of this darn mess here, but it's not really a mess. What it is real estate. And whether or not you can buy a house or rent a home or just current information about the Florida market, frankly. We've got Tanya Rivers with us. We've got Neil Lavelle and Kevin. I love doing that.
Famous Kevin.
Kevin.
Kevin. All right, so this is our final segment. Might want to get in everything you need.
Yeah, this is pretty exciting. So we were talking earlier about rentals and negotiations and going through different challenges, whether it's debt, whether it's death, whether it's divorce, whether it's property rehabbing or working on your personal credit and buying properties in your business or your business name. And some of the things we're talking about is negotiations. That's where we left off. If you are a master negotiator, Neil and I are master negotiators. And so you'll find yourself in a situation, everything is not about putting in the highest offer, right, Neil?
No,
it's
it's
not
not.
always about putting in the highest dollar amount and saying, okay, let's see where the chips fall. When you find your seller's pain point, when as a realtor, you're talking professional to professional, and when you're able to legally find those pain points by having real conversations, you will find out that sometimes they need to stay in the home a little bit longer. Maybe they need a post occupancy. Maybe they've already rented another place. They're selling their home. They rented another place out of state and they just need to get there, but they need to sell the home and it costs money. negotiating pre-occupancies can also, if your buyer or seller both have needs and they need to get in their property, maybe they're paying storage on their furniture out of state and the seller needs to leave, you can negotiate a pre-occupancy right there, and it doesn't necessarily have to be for money. It doesn't necessarily have to be for the cost of their current mortgage. It could just be for, I've done with the storage fee. Hey,
Yep.
I'm paying $300 on my furniture. You're paying $400 on your furniture. Let's wash it out. You get in the home. We put a clause in, put an addendum in the agreement, and you've satisfied that need. So sometimes it's furniture. Furniture is holding up something. They want to sell the property as is with all the furniture, and maybe your buyer doesn't want the furniture.
Yeah.
You can look at, hey, you know what? Let's negotiate that, or maybe offer to have an estate sale for them. A full service realtor like Neil and I, we go in,
We do those
we
things.
do an estate sale for you. We take care, we sell the furniture, help working with the other agent. Maybe we sell the furniture, get that out the way. That puts cash in the seller's pocket. The buyer's happy because they're not having to take the furniture as a package deal. I mean, there's so much to do, Neil. What are your thoughts on negotiating? It's not about money
No, listen,
all the time.
I just helped someone get a deal done, and they were actually moved out of the seller hadn't that we closed, and the seller hadn't moved nothing out of the house.
Wow.
So no, we had to make sure that all of the things they get moved out. And the buyer wasn't moving in for another 2 weeks.
Right.
So he didn't really care.
Right.
But again, if you don't ask, you don't negotiate
Correct.
those things up front
Right.
to make it a smooth, we believe in making transactions smooth.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of
taking
our
the stress
things, our
away.
forte. Melissa was talking about that earlier. What do we do different, right? Because you have all these licensed realtors in Florida and all over in different states, and you want it to be easy. And that's what Neil and I do. We remove the chaos from moving.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We believe in removing that chaos from that. And we do things like rent pods. We do things like get some movers in, whether it's movers that we have an affiliation with, or it could be apps that you use, such as TaskRabbit and things like that. Get folks in, get the home cleaning services, staging, all those things to make it a comfortable thing. Why? Because I specialize in relocation, and Neil does the same thing. You're having to get out. We just talked about it. Foreclosures, things like that. You don't want to deal with the furniture. You don't want to deal with those headaches. So, I mean, if you know about auctions and all sorts of things, we can really make a difference as a full service realtor. What do you think, Kevin?
Addendums are such an important part
Yes.
of a real estate
my
transaction.
Gosh, they are. They
And
really are.
an addendum is basically a legal document that's an addition to the real estate contract.
Right.
And many realtors don't know how to write addendums.
A proper addendum.
Correct. And
Proper addendum.
That's the key
It's
word.
really
and don't
real.
know when you need an addendum and when you don't need an addendum. So having a realtor that knows how to write an addendum when it's required is so key to every real estate transaction. And again, makes the whole process move smoothly.
Yeah,
Right.
no, and that's part of what we try to do right up front. So when you set the expectation and everybody understands what we're doing and how we're going to get
Right.
there, it takes out the worry and the thought process, because that's a lot. That's 3/4 of the battle. And
It is.
you just don't know, and you're just sitting there waiting. If you're the seller, I'm waiting. I'm hoping that nothing goes wrong in this time frame. I'm moving. I'm making
Right.
plans. It's a lot, but look, guys, that you're out there. You got me and Tanya now, and we're really going to help you to make those transitions really smooth
Right.
for you and your family, whether it is in a tight situation or if you're just really looking to move or
Well, I think
looking to buy.
I think we're boots on the ground, Neil. Boots on the ground. I mean,
We are.
we're here. You're Floridians. You're dealing with all these different components. I mean, you know the highways. You know the construction areas. You know what's happening in the communities, and I think that's really important for Neil and I, because we believe in the community, right? And there's so many projects that we work with the communities, just dealing with rental properties. And we have a project going on right now, Neil. Let's talk about the
Dignified
prison
reentry.
reform. Let's talk about
Yeah,
that.
no, I've got a great company that I'm helping, and they're looking for people that want to just rent their homes, because there's several people that are out there that are saying, hey, listen, you know what, I'll rent my home, and I don't really care, what it is, because what they do is they call it dignified reentry. And what they go in and they make the home like completely like mine, your house.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
they really make it really top notch. And it's for those that are coming home from prison that really are looking for a second opportunity. And it's a great program. They really, and they've got a lot of success to those that are coming home, getting jobs right away.
It's
and-
structured.
Yeah, oh,
but
and
right now they
yeah.
need homes, though. And so this is where we come in. So
That's
let's
right,
talk
that's
about
right.
that. So anyone who's listening.
Anybody who's listening, you really have a home that you want to sell or you want to rent, you give us a call. Give me Neil Lavelle, a phone call, and I can be reached at 407-466-1529. And again, 407-466-1529. And you know what? Before I go any further, yes, I'm looking for homes to rent for S&D, but I'm also looking I have a home, and this one's hot. This one's in Kissimmee.
Okay.
1626 Lund Avenue. That one is this home is 3-2 with the pool, 1,800 square feet. Don't hold me to that, guys. I think it's 1,780 or something like that. And needs a little TLC.
Is it a foreclosure now?
It's a pre-foreclosure.
Pre-foreclosure, okay.
So he just went into foreclosure, just wants out of the property. I'm going to be putting that on the market for about $200,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's probably, you need some work.
Right,
It needs some TLC.
But look, what we say is as long as it has good bones, Kevin, if it
then
has
then
good
it's-
bones, everything else can be cosmetic, you know?
That's right. And that one's worth, it's got some juice in there.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to, so what I'm also looking for is someone that needs a start, someone that, like we were talking about earlier, that construction loan.
Right.
You can go in, you can fix it. The pool needs a little TLC, you need a new roof. But if you went in and bought the home knowing that you had to buy these things right from up front, and you got the loan to do it, that was a great opportunity.
Well,
for someone.
too, and the other thing, Neil, is our incredible sources that we have, our
Oh, yeah,
resources. I mean,
absolutely.
from everything from painters and plumbers and construction folks. And I mean, there's so many
yeah.
people that can help you with that. When you buy a property from us and you work with us, you're
And
getting
the
a full
private
gamut.
money if you want private
absolutely.
money as well. We definitely have access to that as well.
Because there's still deals out there in foreclosure.
There's still fix and flip deals out there. There's still deals like this one that's going to come out there that,
Right.
it's not completely a flip, but it's right in that margin. And we need to do a show on how to make, do a
Right,
real
because you
flip.
don't want to put too much money into it, and that's where you come in, Neil.
Overinvest.
I mean, this is what you do. You work with
Right.
foreclosures all the
That's what I
time,
do.
and you help people not only list it for the right price, to maximize the situation, but you don't want them putting in, marble floors and things like that to think you're
Right.
going to drive the price up. You don't really know. So talking
can't
to
overinvest.
an agent who really understands what is going to add value to your home, what actually is taken in consideration when you get your appraisal.
Right.
Somebody else might come in and not want, green walls.
That's true.
Why waste painting them green walls? But if you can just do a fresh coat of white and keep it moving. But when you work with a professional,
We're going to give
we'll
you
tell
the
you what to do.
Yeah, we're going to give you what your next move should really be.
Absolutely.
And what's going to bring the most value out of that situation. Because
Right.
you can't overinvest in a specific location, know.
Right.
But let me ask you this too, Tanya. You just did a brand, like a high-end $800,000 home.
it's crazy though because you don't have to put that much in the home. Because all you have to do is stage it the right way. Sometimes it's just using the tools we have at LPT Realty and just using the marketing material
The
to put it out there.
LPT
So
tools,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a whole other thing there. When you have the right materials to be able to list the properties and sell the properties. So
So
definitely.
if you guys want to reach out to Neil Lavelle, 407-466-1529.
And this is Tanya Rivers at 407-837-1247.
And Kevin Doran with Perfect Title and Escrow, 888-SHORT-50.
Kevin.
Just Kevin for short.
Or just Kevin.
Just
Right.
Kevin for short.
We'll see you next week, everybody. Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. Yeah, buddy. Let me see what I can do here.
That was crazy.
Was that the one I started over? Welcome back. What? Usually I don't let you hear that. Everybody got their stuff in.
What you think? Did you have fun, Kevin?
Yeah, that was great.
Make sure you had a ball. Did you have fun? That was crazy, Neil.
I hope I added something.
No, you're just Kevin. You don't
I'm just Kevin.
You're just Kevin.
I'm going to trademark that, just Kevin.
Yeah, just Kevin. You are just